Good morning for freespeak.tv. This is Chicago, Colorado, and I'm talking to you from outside the Federal Reserve building in Denver, Colorado this morning, where a group of protesters have been picketing up and down the streets, having a little bit of word on the radio. We'll see how big this rally gets. It's a protest against the bailout. I see all kinds of people over there, conservatives and liberals. There's a lot of green speak people in blue shirts to go figure that. We could interpret this in many ways, and I'm sure each of you have your own explanations, but this is phenomenal. We have something of maybe a United States of America against our own government. People from all walks of life, all political persuasions, are up in arms about this bailout. Many of these people have had businesses fail. They weren't bailed out. Many of them have had homes foreclosed on. They weren't bailed out. And they're saying, well, why don't we bail out our poor here? Why don't we bail out our public individual citizens who've been struggling for so long? What is it about this that is driving both parties to give us the same plan? We've said before that the two-party system has become the system. And perhaps we're going to get a critical mass of people that'll be against this. So let's just see what happens here in the next few minutes. We'll try to get a few words from the street.
We're not being told that this institution back here, right behind us, has the power that it needs already to nationalize failing banks. You are not being told that because you are being asked to support giving away more than or almost $1 trillion of your taxpayer money to the banks that do not want this institution to nationalize it and restructure them like our country has done in the past, like a country like Sweden has done in the past. This is a historically radical proposal. Never in our country's history has our Congress passed a bill worth almost $1 trillion, giving it to one person, an unelected appointee, Henry Paulson, to spend as he sees fit on any asset he chooses from any financial institution across the world that he chooses. This will result in a massive tax increase on everyday Americans. It will result in massive inflation. We are borrowing from one account to pay off the debts of another account, adding $1 trillion to the national debt. When you add money to the national debt, you put massive upward pressure on interest rates and on inflation. So the stakes here are incredibly high. We are watching some of the most dishonest shenanigans in Washington as it relates to this bill. I just heard, for instance, that they're going to allow a vote in the Senate on taxing millionaires to pay for at least part of this. What they're not telling you is that they're only allowing a voice vote, meaning it's already rigged. They're having a vote to pretend like they care, when in fact the vote is already rigged. You're probably going to get a press release from your member of Congress saying they conceptually supported this, even though they were unwilling to have a vote that wasn't rigged from the get-go. We cannot allow this to stand. Everybody here needs to get in touch with 5 or 10 or 20 people that you know and tell them to get in touch with their members of Congress. We saw what happened on Monday. The bill was voted down in a bipartisan vote. They are going back to try to ram this thing through. There is a huge amount of corporate money flowing into corporate lobbyists to try to ram this bill through, and in the Senate make it even worse by attaching new corporate tax cuts to this bill. So not only are they not going to pay for this bill, they're actually going to include more tax giveaways to corporate America. And the beauty of this for us as an organizing exercise is that this is a way we can forge a real coalition between right and left. You saw that vote in the House. It was progressives and conservatives taking a principled stand saying this is not acceptable. You better believe that if this bill passes, it will hamstring us for at least a generation on all of the priorities that we believe are important. You cannot add $1 trillion to the national credit card and expect to improve your roads, improve your schools, improve your bridges, have universal health care. All of that is riding on this vote. This is not a vote just about a tax increase today. This is a vote about whether we can improve our country for the next 20 years. You cannot put $1 trillion onto the federal debt and expect to be able to fund anything. So what I'll say in closing is, get out there, contact as many people as you know, tell them to get in touch with your member of Congress, Republican or Democrat, and say that if they vote for this thing, they will be voted out of office. This should not stand, it cannot stand, it represents a radical departure from our country's history, and we have to do everything we can to stop it. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks again, everyone, for coming out. Can I get a yee-haw real quick? How about it? Yeah! All right, we've got our call to action. We've got flyers here. We have on the flyer is our website, coloradojobswithjustice.blogspot.com. It's a little long right now, but we're building our real website. Well, that's coming soon. But keep an eye on that. Stay in touch with us. And please come up and put your signature at least on one of these wanted signs so we know that you are here and we know that you're a citizen who's actually plugged in and concerned about what happens to your tax money. Thank you for coming out.
Okay, let's open this up a little bit. We've heard the liberals, but there are conservatives against this bailout as well.
Let's hear it.
And what we have to see, look around, there are conservatives in this crowd, and let's look at the real issue. The two-party system has become the system. Look at this big poster right here. Young man in green, turn that sign around. Look at what Obama is doing in this. Look at what McCain is doing in this. Look and see if the Nader Party is on this issue. Look and see if the Green Party has a voice. Look and see if any third party has any voice in this issue. This is something that is coming from bigger than the big corporations. Corporations is part of it. But I'm telling you, somebody is at war against the United States of America and the people. We used to be a united people. They have divided us through the media. They've ransacked our reputation through Hollywood, across the world. I just came back from India. India is more free. India has more democracy. India has happy people. Why are we so angry? We have taxation without representation. Do you not understand that that's how this country was formed? We turned against Britain because they taxed unfairly and they did not ask our opinion. Right now they are voting without your opinion. They don't care what your opinion is, whether you're liberal or conservative, whether you're green or whether you couldn't give a damn about the economy. Now look around. We have the opportunity to unite conservatives and liberals against this legislation. Somebody is trying to sink this country into communism, where there was only one party. Now what is your point on your sign? Oh, that's a pretty good point.